Fire in the hole!
Teleporter online.
Move quickly.
There you go.
From above. Fire in the hole!
What's up, guys? This is Zero to my Kitsune, and today we're gonna do a top 5 ways to make the settlement system in Fallout 4 better. Now, this was inspired by watching a video by Zarek Sahakran a little while back on just how much he hated the settlement system and how much it kind of derails the whole Fallout RPG experience. So I got to thinking, how can we make this better? And thus this video. Let's go ahead and get started with the top 5 ways to make the settlement system better. Number 5 is functioning settlements while the player is away. Now, there are hints of this functionality in the game, such as with the cannon or gathering food and some small amounts of scrap, but really how this shows as a glaring fault is with the Contraptions DLC. Now, in this DLC you get all these parts and settlement equipment that allow you to do some pretty cool inventive stuff with your settlement, but it doesn't work when you're not home. That is a glaring fault with the entire DLC, honestly, and maybe it's a technical limitation of the system, but I feel like modders could start adding in inventory items. Maybe it will require the script extender, but would start adding in things that basically run on kind of sort of an RNG system of time progressing. Once you come back, it rolls once it's loaded, and then you have a bunch of stuff added into your inventory. Number 4 is more detailed settler NPCs. There needs to be more to these people than just basically glorified, I don't know what you call them, glorified pincushions, glorified item carriers, glorified boxes, because that's really what they are. They need to have some more complex AI to them and some more ways to tell their story. So custom armors for them, varying levels of equipment, and things inside of their AI package that says they want to wield this. So maybe they don't automatically equip the shotgun you give them. Maybe this NPC only takes sniper rifles. Small stuff like that adds personality. On a more complex level, adding different types of AI to them so that some are cowardly and some are brave would add a lot to these settlements. But against all that, most importantly, adding more than simply performing an animation when they interact with an object in your settlement. Sure, even mods have added in ways for settlers to, brush their teeth, take a bath, play around with the desk and stuff, all sorts of cool things like that, but they don't really do anything. It's just fluff. I think settlers need to, do a random cycle of the things inside of your settlement, but also when they interact with something, make it actually matter. Make it like when they do their whatever, the clean things, they gain health so that they can heal. Or maybe when they interact with a shelf or put their hands on the desk of a market stall, they add ammo to their pool and they don't have infinite ammo. Number 3 is super simple. Expand the enemy raids. Like, really, maybe twice in my entire playthrough of vanilla Fallout 4 did an enemy faction invade my settlements, and I don't even think I even took notice of it. But enemy raids need to be expanded upon in ways of, first of all, better placement so that the fucking system doesn't drop them in the center of your settlement, and maybe give you some notification on where the areas are so that you can accurately add in defenses to the areas that are unguarded. But also make it so there's more of a reason that raiders invade your territory than just your stats say that you have less defenses than you have resources. Is that the only time raiders will come in? when they clearly see that you don't have enough defenses. Nah, if you have a lot of good stuff, they're gonna be like, yeah, we need to take that risk. So there needs to be more of that. And maybe some more complex mechanics, like specific enemy AIs that disable your defenses alongside the standard AIs that just charge in and try to kill everything. And, you know, making your player characters, making your AI settlers more vulnerable. Number 2, now here we're getting to what I think would, just these two by themselves would make Fallout 4 10 times better. But number 2 is add unique effects to the locations. Basically, there is no real reason to put anything different in your settlement than the bare minimum, the bare requirements. Some beds here, an artillery station here, and some walls here. That's all you really need. Settlements need to have some unique mechanics to their location. Maybe an area that's surrounded by radio towers is more receptive to sending reinforcements to you, or maybe Sanctuary Hills, which is kinda held together more than other things, has some natural radiation resistance to rad storms, which should affect your settlers more than they already do in the game, but that's an issue for weather mods. Maybe certain settlements natively give your NPCs particular sets of items when you add them to there. So maybe the Mechanist later. I know it's not naturally a place where settlers can go in and you can do all your settlement stuff, but if there's a mod that added, maybe the Mechanist layer could add a robot companion to every settler. So for every settler that goes in, a robot AI is built and put in that settlement as well. Just stuff like that to give these settlements more interesting features. And finally, the granddad of them all, what I think is the most important thing and the biggest mistake by Bethesda not to include, especially with all of the pushing they did in particular directions, is make the damn settlements downloadable. Just make it so that there's a way for you to save your entire settlement setup, maybe add some mod requirements, and just put it on the Nexus. Make it so players who don't give a fuck about building 50 settlements every single playthrough and making them look completely different can just add in a settlement pack and boom. All of a sudden, instead of seeing empty spots every couple of hours of gameplay because you know that empty settlement, you have them run into an amazingly cool looking settlement, some airship or maybe an underground vault area that someone else made and they downloaded. That would bring back the exploration, which is supposed to be in a Bethesda title, because right now exploration begets you empty settlements that you don't give a fuck about. That could instantly 180 one of the biggest issues I think people have with the settlement system, and maybe even allow players to add in quests to these downloadable settlements so that people could make it easier to make dungeon mods. I mean, I assume that was kind of the point, Bethesda, because you ended up boarding up 90% of the buildings in Fallout 4. I assume just so modders could take away the boarded up area, put a little transport thing inside the door, and they could have easily accessible dungeon mods. Why not do something similar with the settlements? So those are my top 5 things that settlements could have changed to them, potentially by the modding scene at this point, because I guess Bethesda's gonna do fuck all with it. I mean, some would say it's a smarter idea by Bethesda to just, cut their losses and go ahead and work on the next Elder Scrolls or Fallout game and have it be 10 times better. I don't know. But whatever they do, it's up to the modding community now to make these functions more interesting, and these are the ways I think it could possibly be done. So leave in the comment section if you agree with some of these points, if you don't agree with some of these points, and I'll see you guys next time.